What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our draft profile and analysis for Georgia wide receiver George Pickens. All that and much more coming your way right now. All right, before we get into today's video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video, as it will help us out tremendously. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, as we grow closer and closer to April's draft, we have another draft profile to get to. Today, we're going to be talking about Georgia Bulldog wide receiver George Pickens, the big-bodied receiver standing at 6'3", 200 pounds. PFF has him ranked as the number 8 wide receiver in this very deep wide receiving draft class. I have a pro comp of Mike Williams. I think that George Pickens has a ceiling of Mike Williams. I think that's where he can be. Right now, I think he's lacking a little bit, and we'll get into that a little bit. But Mike Williams wasn't who he is right now when he first came into the NFL. So that's why I really wanted to pro comp him to Mike Williams as well. When you take a look at Pickens' career stats at Georgia, he played for 3 years, 24 total games. He did have that torn ACL this past year, so it is going to be up on the draft board as one of the biggest question marks for him about his health and his durability. When you take a look at his stats, though, 90 catches, 1,347 yards, and 14 touchdowns. This guy was an absolute machine when he was available and on the football field. Great player for the University of Georgia. Unfortunately, again, couldn't stay healthy for his final year, but now he enters the NFL fully ready to go. Nick, tell us a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses that George Pickens provides to NFL teams.
George Pickens is an incredible athlete, and he does have that potential like Mike Williams, but good for teams. He does not come at the high draft price of a top 5 pick. This is a guy you can get towards the end of the first, early second, and with his strengths, you look at this guy's tape, he is one of, if not the best, 50-50 ball catchers that they have to offer this year, and he is super explosive coming out of his breaks and getting separation. Him and Treylon Burks really jump off the page when you watch their tape. These guys really make you see why they are some of the top wide receivers available. But with George Pickens, he does have his weaknesses alongside his injury history. And it really comes when you look at his frame. At 6'3", 200 pounds, that's a lean guy. That is not a frame that is really going to be able to handle a lot of the run protection that is necessary out of wide receivers these days. He's not going to be able to get off the line of scrimmage like you would want him to. A lot of these press man corners are going to be able to bully him, and he's going to have to improve that line of scrimmage ability. He's going to have to show he's not just a guy who can get in and out of his breaks quickly and create that separation downfield. He's got to do it right away.
Absolutely. George Pickens showed an ability, if he was able to get downfield, to really separate from defenders and catch the ball and make plays. But it was getting off the line of scrimmage against some of the better, bigger cornerbacks that he had to face. When he faced other SEC cornerbacks, this guy was just constantly locked down. He struggled getting off that line of scrimmage. A lot of his big plays came against weaker opponents, so that is definitely something that we're going to have to look at when you're taking a look at George Pickens. But some potential teams we might be hearing call George Pickens' name. We start off with the Detroit Lions at 32. The Detroit Lions need a big-bodied receiver to go with their receiving core that they currently have with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Reynolds. These guys need a big-bodied guy who can go up and get those 50-50 balls, provide that security blanket for Jared Goff, and I believe that George Pickens could be that guy.
Another team to look out for is the Houston Texans. They will definitely be in the market for a wide receiver in this draft class because Davis Mills is their guy moving forward, and they need to make sure that he is well equipped. They need to make sure he has a wide receiver one. George Pickens can definitely be that guy.
Another team that could be in the running for George Pickens would be the Atlanta Falcons. George Pickens from University of Georgia going to the Atlanta Falcons, it just makes too much sense. But with the issues that Calvin Ridley now being suspended for an entire season, the lack of receiving depth that they have, or quality receiving depth that they have in Atlanta right now with Russell Gage going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are struggling mightily at the wide receiver position. And if Marcus Mariota wants any chance at success, it has got to be a guy like George Pickens. It's going to be a guy he can just throw the ball up to, who's going to go get those 50-50 balls. I fully expect the Falcons to address this wide receiver position. George Pickens should be on their radar.
And then lastly, let's take a look at the Cleveland Browns. They got Amari Cooper in a big trade with the Dallas Cowboys, but they're not done just yet. They've been looking for a wide receiver too to go alongside Amari, and George Pickens might be the perfect guy to offset Amari Cooper's abilities. When you look at what him and CeeDee Lamb did great together in Dallas, George Pickens has a lot of potential to do what CeeDee Lamb has been able to do for the Cowboys. I think putting him opposite Amari Cooper with Deshaun Watson could be one of the most terrorizing things for the AFC.
Overall, George Pickens has a lot to offer to NFL teams right off the bat, but I don't think he's a number one wide receiver just yet. He's going to have to work on his game just a little bit, which is why we have him falling down draft boards just toward the end of the first round, early second round. Nonetheless, he's going to land with a team and be a big play receiver for them. So I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of George Pickens, where you think he should be drafted, and who you have as a pro comp for him. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.